The laugh came from the kitchen, light, casual, the kind that assumes privacy. I was still on the stairs, keys in my hand, when I heard my name cut into pieces by amusement. We score him out of 10 whenever he's not here. A pause, then my wife's chuckle, soft, indulgent. As a husband, I mean. Something inside me went very still. I didn't step back. I didn't announce myself. I stood there, listening to the sound of people who believed I was absent. That sound is always the most honest. Another voice, one of her friends, asked, half joking, "So what is he today?" My wife exhaled through her nose, amused, comfortable. "Depends on the mood, 6 on a good week." The room laughed. I looked at my reflection in the dark window by the stairs. I looked finished, not angry, not hurt, just complete. When I finally walked in, the laughter died mid-breath. Glasses paused in mid-air. My wife turned, eyes widening just enough to betray calculation scrambling. I smiled, calm, measured. "Great," I said. "I'll grade this marriage as finished." The silence that followed was not immediate. It unfolded, slowly, like a realization sinking its teeth in. The joke wasn't amusing anymore. That night she reached for me in bed like nothing had changed. Her hand rested on my chest, familiar, rehearsed. I stared at the ceiling, replaying years through a new lens. The casual dismissals, the way her phone never left her side, the jokes at my expense, always framed as harmless. Betrayal doesn't arrive loudly, it seeps in, it rewrites memories. I didn't confront her, not then. I needed to know how deep the rot went. Over the next days I listened more than I spoke. I watched how she angled her phone away, how her laughter existed in rooms I wasn't invited into, how she spoke about independence only when I questioned distance. One night she said, "You're being quiet lately." I shrugged, "Just tired." She smiled, relieved. That smile told me everything I needed to know about how little she feared me. The betrayal wasn't just infidelity, it was erasure. I had become a prop in her life, a stable background while she auditioned for something better, and props are never meant to hear the reviews. I began counting patterns, call logs, timestamps, deleted threads that left faint shadows in cloud backups she didn't know were synced to my email. I never raised my voice, never broke routine. I made coffee, asked about her day, kissed her cheek. Inside, I built a map. There was one name that appeared too often for coincidence, a friend from work, married, safe, invisible. I watched how her tone shifted when his name came up, how her body leaned forward without realizing it. I hired no one. I needed no confrontation yet. Truth is patient if you let it be. I found the hotel receipt folded inside a book she never read. The irony didn't escape me. Still I waited, because timing is the difference between pain and power. The proof arrived on a quiet Tuesday, an email confirmation forwarded automatically from her phone. She had forgotten to turn off the setting. A reservation, 2 guests, 1 room. His name spelled wrong, but unmistakable. I printed it. That evening I placed the paper on the dining table between us like a placemat. She noticed it halfway through dinner. Her fork stopped mid-air. "What's that?" I sipped my water. "Answer it however you like." She read, color drained, breath shallow. The mask cracked. "It's not," she started. I raised my hand. "Not angry, just final. I'm not asking." Silence again. Different this time. Heavy. Earned. She cried. Of course she did. Apologies poured out in disarray. Context. Loneliness. Mistakes. I listened like an auditor. No interruptions. No comfort. When she finished, I nodded once. "Thank you," I said, "for confirming." She looked at me like I'd spoken another language. The next move wasn't loud. It was surgical. I forwarded the reservation, along with months of call logs, to her friend group, the same group that had scored me. I added one line, "Since we're grading honesty." Then I sent a separate message to his wife. No commentary, no accusation, just evidence. I packed that night, slowly, methodically. Each folded shirt felt like reclaiming territory. She stood in the doorway, shaking. "You planned this," she whispered. I met her eyes for the last time. "No," I said. "I observed." The difference mattered. Weeks later, I heard through others how it collapsed. The affair, the friendships, the version of her that thrived on laughter without consequence. I didn't ask for updates. Detachment is not numbness, it's clarity without noise. I live alone now, quietly, intentionally. Sometimes I remember the sound of that laugh in the kitchen, not with anger, with gratitude, because that was the moment I stopped being scored and started choosing when to walk away.